What is going on YouTube? It's definitely Nick here, and today we're going to talk about the relatively new X-Men movie. It's the newest X-Men movie, and it's called Logan. Okay, I know it's been like a month. What's today? April 7th? I know it's been a month since the movie came out, at least a little over a month. I don't care. I want to get my opinions out on this, and so you're going to deal with that. You're going to watch this video? Probably not, but I'm recording this, so I'm going to get my review out on it. Anyways, Logan takes place years after any X-Men film has ever happened, and it's in 2029, I believe. The mutants have all been wiped away besides a couple, and mainly in this movie it's Wolverine, Professor X, and Caliban. And so the only X-Men really are Wolverine and Professor X. They try to live this quiet and hidden life out near the border of Mexico. And things get really shaken up when a young mutant clone of Logan shows up, and they have to get her to safety. They have to get her all the way to Canada, and they have to get her safety. There's people chasing her, and she's let loose and stuff like that. She's a clone of Wolverine. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, so Logan stars Hugh Jackman as Logan, Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, Daphne Keane as Laura, Boyd Holbrook as Pierce, and it's directed by James Mangold. I believe that's how you say it. Mangold. So let's dive right in right here. This movie is basically one very long road trip, and that's completely okay. The director, James Mangold, he did the last Wolverine movie, which was in Japan, and that one wasn't bad, but there was the third act that was horrible. But he really chose to just drive this movie with a simple plot, and he wanted to have a more character-driven movie, and he did an amazing job at that. This is also the first Wolverine solo film that's rated R, and oh no, it's not the first X-Men film, because Deadpool was the first X-Men film to be rated R. But this is the first Wolverine solo film to be rated R, and man, does it pay off. The director mentioned that he didn't want to have a rated R film just to have blood and gore everywhere. He wanted it to really show rated R and have adult themes, and that's why it's rated R, not just because Wolverine's tearing off limbs instead and piercing people through the head, and you can see the spikes come out through the head. But that really pays off. Finally seeing Wolverine being bloody. I mean, it's kind of annoying in the old X-Men film seeing him stab someone and pull his claws out and there's no blood on it whatsoever. But now there's limbs being chopped off, heads being chopped off, and it's just gory and violent, and it's awesome. It is so awesome. This movie is an extremely emotional, thrilling, and overall beautiful movie. This may be Hugh Jackman's best go at playing Wolverine. I believe that. I think this has become one of my favorite X-Men movies. I say that almost every time a new X-Men film comes out, because I think they really top it every time they come out. I mean, Deadpool, and then I really didn't think X-Men Apocalypse was that bad. X-Men Days of Future Past is probably my favorite of the prequel, Young Mutants and all that. But Logan overall is my favorite X-Men movie now. I've already seen it 3 times. Anyways, back to Hugh Jackman's best go at Wolverine. Wolverine is in a really he's in a weak and vulnerable state in this entire movie, physically and mentally, but he still managed to do the right thing and help this young mutant clone Laura. Charles is also in a weakened state, and despite there being almost no mutants left on the Earth, and the X-Men all being wiped out and everything, he still believes in the survival of mutants. He still wants them to prosper and to live. Everyone in this movie does so well. I really want to see Daphne Keane more. I think she was amazing. She did such a great job at being this quiet but deadly mutant clone of Logan, and she was basically mute the entire movie except for like the last of the second act, maybe beginning of third act. But she was so good. I really want to see her, just seeing her flip around, stabbing these guys, and just, she was brutal, but she was so good. All 3 of the characters work together really well, I think. Charles, Logan, and Laura being those 3 characters, all of them work really well. I mean, Laura's setting herself up to become this, just overtaking the role of Wolverine after Logan, since this is Hugh Jackman's last go. So they'll either recast Logan or they'll have her take over the mantle, and I would honestly love if she did. I would be totally okay with that if she took over the mantle of Wolverine, because she was that good. Boyd Holbrook as Pierce, he's the main villain throughout the entire movie. He's not like the main villain, but he's the main guy throughout the movie. The one you see the most. He's chasing Laura and he's chasing Logan and Charles and everyone, trying to kill them. And he was actually really good. He wasn't in complete charge of everything. Like I said, there's an overseer, whatever, scientist guy, which is Rice, Dr. Rice, I think that's his name. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. But he's in charge of just the Reavers chasing Logan, and he's got a robotic arm. He's really witty and funny. I think he was a funny guy, but he's also really threatening when he comes on. Around the end of the second act, the movie takes a seriously dark turn into what almost seems like a horror movie. Like the soundtrack sounds like a horror movie, and just the way the film, the shooting and everything like that, it looks like a horror movie. Everything's dark and oh man, it's so gory. Like, oh, that scene, that entire like sequence, whenever I listen to that soundtrack, the soundtrack is haunting, and that entire scene, what goes down at the end of the second act is just horrifying, and it's so good. Like, just setting the mood like that and just having a splash of horror in this movie, it doesn't even feel like a superhero movie. And that's a main point also I want to make, is that this doesn't really feel like a superhero. Nothing is really large scale. The earth isn't being destroyed. There aren't millions of humans being killed and everything. I mean, it's just the mutants. It's just the survival of mutants and Logan and Charles and Laura. That's it. It's just them. There's nothing else at stake but the survival of mutants and them. In the third act, there are really satisfying scenes, and there's also a really gut-wrenching scene, which is like the final scene of the movie, and it all feels complete. It feels like a perfect ending to Logan. I actually said a long time ago when Logan was first announced, I said, hey, this better be Logan better be good. I said, hey, Logan better be good. I said something like, hey, Logan better be good. It's Hugh Jackman's last time playing Wolverine. Like, it's got to be the best Wolverine movie. It's got to be the best. And this movie really was. It really was the best send-off for Hugh Jackman, the send-off for everything Logan was. This movie is extremely emotional, not only because it's Hugh Jackman's last time, I mentioned that a lot of times, but it's emotional already going in because it's Hugh Jackman's last time. Hugh Jackman's iconic. 17 years he's played Wolverine. And having a final movie with him in it, possibly. I mean, he might reprise it, do little cameos every now and then, but it's just emotional. And I was also laughing in this movie. There are a lot of funny moments, and I also felt like crying. Like, it's so brutal and so emotional. It just really tugs at you. I've already seen it 3 times, like I mentioned, and I want to keep seeing it. It's on its way out of theaters pretty soon because that's just the way movies are. I don't know why I said because after that, but overall, I'm going to give Logan a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I don't want to grade any movie a perfect score. Because perfect scores are impossible, but Logan comes very close to that. Logan is my favorite X-Men movie, and James Mangold did a wonderful job at directing Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie. I'm really going to miss Hugh Jackman. He was perfect for this role. He really was. But I couldn't be more satisfied with how this movie went. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you haven't. It's already been out for a month. Everyone's been talking about it. Go see it if you haven't seen it at this point. Alright guys, that's it. That was my review on Logan. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you agreed. If you didn't agree, comment down below. If you did agree, comment down below. Comment whatever. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on social media and all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you. I'm a big pain in the ass.
Hanging on the fence now.